Libra, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We have officially entered into Virgo season. We've had a good start thus far, it feels. We had a new moon in Virgo end of last week, and now we're just kind of getting into the flow. There's been some ups and downs. In the astrology, like in the transits, some really positive, supportive aspects to our spiritual growth, so to speak. When I'm talking about that, like so much of what we're being challenged with in the astrology is challenging us on these deeper levels, i.e. those more spiritual, moral, kind of those values that we ascribe to that make us want to grow and be a better version of ourselves, whatever that may look like for you. And that's where we have some retrogrades right now. Chiron, the wound healer, is in retrograde, so it's highlighting those places where we're finding some disconnect, etc. And as long as we're willing to stay open to whatever that is within ourselves and do a little bit better the next time around, we really see support for what we're growing, support for what we're building, what we're trying to draw in. However, there is some tension on the surface level, especially as it relates to like our ego and our emotions. Even Pluto is in opposition, so tensely aspected to Venus right now. And we have to make changes in the dynamics that we love, that we care about. That's definitely being highlighted for us in the places that need change. I'm not saying to like force something that doesn't necessarily need that, because it can be counterintuitive too. It's more just the things that are being highlighted that aren't really working anymore, that either need to be adjusted, need both parties, all parties involved to be on the same page, or new options need to be sought out, right? Like a revamping, however that looks, whatever you're kind of navigating. So that's why I like to start off with these energy cleansings, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked or limited. It's a great time to set your own intention, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It really is a great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you're just looking for more of that rebalancing of self, mind, body, soul, so you can better align with the things that you desire. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic consultations. When we're investing in ourselves, when we're aware of who we are, our wants, our needs, that's really where we are able to manifest that happiness and abundance. And I would love to help support that in whatever way possible. All right, Libra, definitely hit me up if you're interested. Sorry, I got sidetracked. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, Libra. I keep hearing that like you keep getting thrown off track, like something, or just maybe it's life in general, because I'm hearing that like you're trying to restart something or trying to approach something with a different vantage point or a little more commitment is maybe a better way to say it, right? Like you're trying to bring something in, okay, maybe children are involved, or, you know, you're finding a little bit more balance between work and play so you can be a little bit more childlike, or maybe you're trying to bring a child into the picture. This energy, so it feels like you already have a good game plan or knowledge in place, but you're in this space where like, I feel like I said, you keep getting sidetracked. And I almost feel like you're trying to find that perfect reason as to why. Some of it's just part of the nature. Sometimes air energy, your air element, can be very fixated on like logical reasoning. And sometimes in life, it just doesn't work out that way. Sometimes we actually have to rely on our feelings, our intuition more, right? The gut, I think the microbiome is more intuitive than our brain, which is very interesting, right? Because when we think about our thinking, our processing, we really, usually we relate that to the brain, not to the gut. And Ayurveda is very huge into maintaining gut health. I know that sounds really cheesy or maybe a tangent, but it's this value of like, when we are able to process through, when we're able to digest what is happening around us, it makes our output that much better, right? It helps us to really understand where we need to go and what we need to do. And I feel like something has been rebalanced in your life. I feel like you had to maybe find a little bit more respect for the process of life is what I'm hearing. Sometimes like life just calls us to these places of following order just because like that's the way it is. And it feels like this is also respect within self is what I'm hearing. Slowing down, taking time to invest in yourself a little bit more, or connect with yourself, be aware of who you are, your wants, your needs, what you're investing in, maybe even reflecting on some of the toxicity that's been present in your life. And it looks like whatever this is, you're finally coming to some level of peace. It doesn't mean that the pain is not still there, because I do feel like you are releasing still, and right now Neptune is in retrograde in Aries. So those places that we maybe don't feel worthy, or we don't feel adequate, or, something is just, we're like not able to kind of tap into our power. Like those areas are being highlighted with Neptune, specifically Neptune and Saturn. They're both in retrograde in Aries on top of each other. And Neptune in retrograde always brings up those things, like kind of like those deep-seated fears, or, whatever. Like we often find that in dreams, or, when we get pulled back into a memory, etc., that we had completely forgotten about, that type of thing. Because it looks like whatever you have in your environment is, well, there's not a lot of interaction, and maybe that's where this piece is coming into play. I feel like on some level, you're making some acceptance this week. I also am hearing that you're promising yourself something as well as you're moving forward. Because this Page of Cups talks about, Libra, how you're still offering something. It might not be much, but you're still giving to the situation. I don't feel like whatever you're dealing with is receiving it, because Six of Wands, they're in their own vibe. They're going to do what they're going to do. This is someone or something that maybe has like a little bit of arrogance as well. Like I'm hearing like as if I know you, or I know how you're going to respond or react, or that you'll just be waiting around for whenever I'm done doing what I'm doing. We have a lion depicted on the card, which is connected to Leo energy. It's also like we just came from Leo season, and Leo energy can be a little bit arrogant and prideful. It's good in the way that it helps us connect with that empowerment, right, that I was talking about. But when it's out of balance, or in its quote unquote more lower vibrational side, it becomes arrogant and annoying and frustrating. And in your energy, it's like, you're still, like I said, you're still putting efforts forward. And it because it is not being reciprocated, 6 of Wands, 6 of Cups, and the Moon. So whomever, whatever this is, just can't really deal, unfortunately. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of feeling. That's the whole reason why they're choosing themselves first, right? Because they can't, I don't want to say, maybe they can't get a grip, or they just don't really want to deal with it. So they're putting it on the sidelines, because whatever you keep offering, either it's being rejected, or that's kind of where this pain is coming from. Maybe you can't get away. Maybe you can't escape it. Let's clarify this Knight of Pentacles for you. It is stressful, 100%. But here's the thing, the value is like you're finding some level of peace. And there's a strong theme right now in the collective where it's like, we have to remember we can't control people or situations, how they play out. They can choose what they want to do, right? And I feel like someone's just not ready right now. Someone's not ready. Someone's not on board. I don't know if they will ever be. I feel like on some level, you're looking at it like they will. We have the Lovers, we have the 8 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Wands. But whatever this is, it's too stressful. It's too stressful because there's 2 completely different perspectives. They're just going to go ahead and choose the thing that's most logical, most rational, even if it's not necessarily, I don't know. Let's see. It's like, okay. Yeah. Yes. So that's what I was going to say. They're just going to choose whatever's like the most logical, most rational. And it feels like whatever they're thinking or however they're processing it is in a very limited way. So meaning I wouldn't be surprised if they make some decisions that you're like, you're not pumped about it, but it's again, that reinforcement of you can't control, right? Like if someone doesn't want to see it, they don't want to see it. And I feel like you finding peace, stability, balance within your own self is the name of the game. You can choose how much you let this affect you. That's where it's headed. Like they're going to do what they're going to do, and how much you engage, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you're able to make decisions for yourself that reinforce this piece. It might, again, not be the easiest, but if you're consistently getting met with difficulty, frustration, anger, hurt, pain, etc., what's the point, right? This says, I am loved. Okay, Libra, so remember, you are loved. I know that incredible things happen when I surround myself with supportive people. So obviously this is not a person's situation that's very supportive, right? Because immediately right off the bat, they're out for their own victory. They're out for their own success. And maybe that is where the disappointment comes into play, right? Because you are still contributing on some level, but they just can't, right? Or that's how they're showing up right now. And even more consistently as they move forward. Because something no longer makes sense to them, and, so be it, right? I am ready to grow. I know that every dream in my heart is waiting to bloom, 100%. We've been getting this a lot in the collective. I love that message because it reminds us to empower ourselves. And I'm sorry I didn't really touch on this a lot, but Virgo season really allows us to do that because it is the investment in self. It's in the investment in self-love, self-care, building a strong foundation for your health, for your wellness. Interestingly enough, Ayurveda recommends to do cleansings during the turn of seasons, and more specifically from winter to spring and summer to fall, because there's like all this excess heat and energy from summer that you just need to kind of like purge it out, right? To release it, to rebalance, to find rebalance and calm so you can put your energy in intentional places when the fall winter comes, right? I love that concept. I am evolving. I know that each sunrise brings an opportunity to make a different choice. Sometimes it's hard to remember that. Sometimes it's hard to let go. This is a situation you fought for to some capacity for however long. And I do feel like you know where it's headed. I feel like you're getting even more confirmations on the way this week, and that's the silver lining. And remember, like, this is something you're finding peace from. There are still things that are happening that probably will trigger and force you to make another decision again of, are you going to continue with peace, or are you going to let it infiltrate your sanity? So I hope this helps, Libra. Thank you so much for your time, energy always. I hope you enjoyed this reading and found messages that resonated here for you. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. Know I'm sending it back your way.